Hello, and welcome to Painting Happy Lil Minis. Thank you all for the ride. I was figuring out the video, so you probably heard the intro song like 3 times.
Yes!
That's okay. My name's Leona.
And I'm Dave.
And
Hi.
we are here to paint and have a jolly time. We were chatting before the show, and I'm trying to do stuff on the live stream. So thank you all for joining and hanging in there with us. This evening, we are going to be continuing our month of DnD painting.
D&D
and that's actually
fun.
going to kind of continue into March, which is exciting. We got some stuff. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that we're going to be painting in next month.
The future.
I'm excited about that.
In the future.
The future. So yeah, I will be continuing work on my Frameworks model. He is the Orc Barbarian, and excitingly, Frameworks should be coming to your friendly local game store by the end of March.
Very soon, yes.
Which is exciting. So.
And we're going to show off.
Yeah,
Wow.
so hang in there later because we have some frameworks that we're going to show. I'm really excited about these because these are all the like monsters that they sent us. So we'll just kind of open them up and
Have a look.
Have a look. So yes, hello to everyone in the chat. Hi JT, hi Betsy. Hello, it was a great intro song. Yeah, I like the intro song. It's grooving, so I thought you wouldn't mind listening to it like
Over
3
and over and over again.
And also hello to Jason and hello to Ashlyn. And for anyone else who's watching, say hello to us in chat, and we'd love to paint along with you this evening. So,
Indeed.
what are you planning on painting this evening, Dave?
I'm not sure.
Oh, did I not give
know.
you a mini?
No, I brought minis. I brought
okay.
minis. I brought minis. So last week I was painting this dude, the
The snake guy.
Yep, Serpent Folk Brutes. So I got him finished off. I didn't finish off the base.
Gotcha.
So maybe I'll do a little bit of touch-up work on the base.
Okay.
I have the Queen Priestess as well that I could do a little bit of work on. But I also brought one of the sort of serpent cultist models
nice.
to mess around with, because I'm probably going to do a little bit of work on that because the lovely folks at the Army Painter sent me a speed paint mega set.
Mega set.
Mega set. The future. So, yeah, this is the one that has 23 colors plus the speed paint medium. So the speed paints are the...
Zoom in on that. Let's zoom in on that.
There we go.
Oops.
Zoom.
There we go.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So
Mega.
all those ones. So it's the Army Painter's version of the one coat and done kind of paints.
Cool.
So I messed around a bit with these on Tuesday. And here are some minis that I painted on Tuesday. These are from the Mantic Dungeon Essentials box set. You get 5 of these zombies in the Dungeon Essentials box set. They are from their Hellboy game, their Hellboy board
nice.
game. So yeah, definitely very cool. So I painted all of these. I only used, apart from the base, I only used the speed paints.
Oh, sweet.
So I did the speed paint, like non-metallic metal version for their like the shields and for the helmets and that kind of thing, and the swords. But yeah, so it's pretty crazy to sort of mess around with
Pretty
those.
vibrant too. I think the camera's not picking up exactly, but that green is pretty bright in person. It's nice.
The green on the skin is
on the
quite
skin,
bright.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the malignant green.
Oh.
I think because I just wanted to do them quickly. I painted these up for the step by step is going to go into the booklet that myself, the Army Painter, and Mantic are doing for Free RPG Day.
Nice.
In June. So we're going to do these things so far in advance. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So next week I have to lay it all out and get it off to the printers the week after.
Yeah. I mean, I understand
And hope that
yeah.
it makes it to the distribution place in April for the June event. But anyway, no, I think if I was to sort of mess around with them for myself, I'd probably mix in something else to
Okay.
that, and just to mix in a couple of the different colors, just to experiment and get something that was a little bit less vibrant. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it is pretty bright.
It is pretty intense. Yeah, but the everything else has worked out really quite nicely. The different browns.
Because you really only put one coat on.
Yeah, just one
I think
coat
that's
over
what's most, especially the red. Like,
right.
It's very deep color.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of whatever color count in the paint, whatever they call that.
Pigment.
Pigment.
Yes, it's the pigment. That's
I'm
the
thinking
word.
like pics per
Pixels.
per inch of
Does
water.
per inch.
DPI.
Oh. All right, yeah,
that's
does-
what I'm thinking.
PPI, pigment per inch.
Pigments per inch. Nice.
PPFLOZ. Pigment per fluid ounce.
Fluid ounce. I was like, I know you're talking about water, but
Or something. But yeah, they are actually quite heavily pigmented. One difference that I noticed between these and the contrast paints. So contrast paints, there are 3 or 4 different viscosities.
right, yeah.
Depending on the model. So depending on the paint. So like Athematic Blue, for example, is quite thin.
Right.
Whereas something like Wildwood or Cygor Brown is very heavily thick and very heavily pigmented. These, the viscosity and the density of pigment is pretty similar throughout.
Gotcha.
So the way that you'd mix, the way that you'd thin each of them is pretty much the same. So there's that sort of consistency there.
Yeah, you don't have to like learn by color.
Yeah,
what-
you don't have to. Yeah, not experimenting by which one is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, I wanted to touch on the chat for a little bit because people were chatting and I hadn't said hi to them. Hello to Josh Potter and also Sean Gleason and James. Thanks for joining. Yep, JC says jealous. Almost bought the speed paint kit last weekend, but decided to hold out for the mega set.
I think it's better. It's a good choice because dollar for dollar, it's a great buy.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when they were promoting them and thinking like, "Ooh, that's actually a good set to buy for." I always look at things that are like entry level. My brother's really into miniature painting actually, and I gave him like all these old paints that we had sitting around the studio, but it would be nice to like upgrade once in a while. And so I kind of try and keep a lookout for sets that have a wider range of colors, but also he likes to paint armies, so that's helpful. The speeding.
It's going to be super consistent for sure.
And I like the dropper bottles a little better, just the container of them. So
no, they're good, definitely cool. But Ashley says very interested in trying these. Betsy said, "Yep, I already told my local game store to order me a mega set." Jane says, "What happened to the other one?" The other one, what? I don't know.
Is the video cutting in and out for anyone else? I'm sorry, Ashlyn, if our internet is not perfect.
No.
Sometimes we have issues at the studio, so I do apologize if you are experiencing some cutouts. Let me zoom in up on me. Here we go.
Tim says hi, but he's playing the new Horizon.
Hi, Tim.
Video game right now. Hi, Tim. Hi, Bauer clan. Sean says, "What was your base color?" The base color for those zombies was I did a Zenithal prime.
Jump back to them.
Yeah. So I primed them black first, and then did a Zenithal prime of white. So I think I used Corax white from GW for the top. And then just all the colors went straight over there. So, I think that was pretty straightforward. One other thing that I'll throw up on the... sorry. As soon as I had to throw up, that was the first thing I thought of.
Throw up.
I'll take these off the spinner.
Okay. Do you want me to move away? Or okay.
And this...
Also, hi, Gary, and hi, Mark. Thanks for joining.
Oh, I thought it was a little bit tall. No, that should be right. That should be fine. So this is the sort of necropolis / mausoleum that'll be going out with the what do you call it? Free RPG Day.
Oh,
That's
the
it.
free RPG.
Free
Day
RPG
set.
Day
Cool.
kit. So this is from Mantic as well. So the zombies won't be going out with the kit, but these guys, one of these will go to each store, so that
It looks so good.
So this one was I did the Zenithal priming as well. Primed it black, hit it
nice.
with white, and that is Grave. What is it? Grave Lord Grey.
Okay.
Over all the stone. Let that dry. Then we'll put Plasmatic Bolt over the roof to give that oxidized copper look.
Yes.
And then, because I'd watched a bunch of videos, really.
Right.
On the speed paints.
Right.
A whole bunch of different people. So Wargames Illustrated reviewed them. Goobertown Hobbies, Squidma. And the one I saw on Tuesday was Starley's Tale of Painters.
Okay.
Video. And one thing that he mentioned, and something that the others hadn't mentioned, was that sometimes when you go back over some of the speed paints with another speed paint, it can reactivate the carrier, the medium.
Yeah.
So before I went back with the brown for the sort of the shading and that weathering kind of look, I hit it with a varnish.
Oh, okay. To seal it.
A sort of
or
anti-shine matte varnish. Yeah,
barrier.
Create a barrier so that it wouldn't do that, and then just thin the what's the dark brown that they've got? Dark wood down with some of the speed paint medium.
Yeah,
and
it looks
around
so good.
The base. So that's three colors, and I will admit, I went back with picked up some uniform gray from the Army paint range, and just picked out some highlights.
The highlights, yeah. It's crazy how nice the Zenithal works.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Like edging, like how it really doesn't. I mean, I know that you've gone back in and done some of the highlighting back.
Yep.
To bring it back up to that top.
But a lot of that isn't highlighting.
But yeah, the Zenithal really does make a difference. So
yeah, definitely super cool.
If you're able to figure that out, I tried Zenithal. And then it turned... Someone in the group posted, actually, a similar thing that happened to me, where they were like, I was going to add Zenithal to this miniature, and then, like, add more color to it. But I sprayed it, and now it just looks like heavy snow.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because the can kind of went...
Oh, you get that.
And I was like, yeah, that's my experience, too. But, I mean, practice makes perfect, so...
This is true.
I should not complain.
Okie
All right,
dokie.
let's get into our painting.
Let's do that.
Dave, those are beautiful. Oh, wow. What happened to Gretchen? So Gretchen has been out for various reasons. She's not feeling super well, but she will be back next month. So tune in for that.
Cool.
But yeah, we will have her back hopefully soon.
Excellent.
Love the shading on the base, yeah. Yeah, she's totally fine. She's just taking a break for a little bit.
Yep.
Let's see, my guy. So I think I'm gonna keep with the like going color by color on my painted miniature. The mega set. Yeah, and then you can show us some
how it goes on.
Yeah, how it goes on and stuff like that. If you don't mind.
Indeed. I can do that. So what I'll do is I haven't really experimented with the blues, the Prismatic Bolt, and the which one did I go for? Cloudburst Blue are the only ones that I used. The Runic Grey I did use, so it says grey and it's blue. It's a blue grey, but that's the one that I used for the silvers. So on the helmets and the chainmail and that kind of thing. But in focus, not in focus. In focus, not in focus. I think we're good. So yeah, there is Magic Blue. There is...
Oh, hello, Jez. Good evening.
Oh, hey, Jez.
And yes, James, I did see that you posted something that wasn't a ship, so we do have that.
Awesome.
Today.
Very
we have
cool.
your miniatures. We'll look at those in a little bit. So what were you saying? You have the grays, blues.
So yeah, that's the one I've tried. The highlight blue. Where's the Cloudburst Blue? I will find them. There we go. One of the other things that's kind of funny with the paints, because they are supposed to end up, they act differently on the miniature, so it's not just an opaque layer.
Okay.
When they're in the bottle, particularly a lot of the browns can look identical in the bottle.
Oh, right.
When they're out on a model, they're very different.
Right.
So when they're in the bottle, so when you're searching through, you've got to pay close attention to the name.
When they're in the bottle, it's not like the model.
Here we go.
Where's some bone white when you need it?
There we go. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, wow.
That's what I mean. And that is the range between Grim Black and Pallid Bone. Are those two?
Wow.
Yep. Kind of crazy. Do you have some bone white? I've got some here.
I have white.
Here's some bone
and
white.
And I can, okay. Boop-a-doo. Thank you. Gracias.
Cool. Okay, yep.
Hiya, Simon. Thanks for joining. Everyone doing great? Yes, we are doing very well. We are painting up some D&D miniatures. I'm working on frameworks. Dave is working on serpent
folk.
Serpent folk from the Steamforged Games Epic Encounters line.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be working on this guy's, what do you call? Antlers, his headwear. My orc's headwear.
Cool.
And also his, actually, I did see a silver. I saw metallic. Here we go. And his also, his silver, like all the silver bits on his model. He has like some sort of skirt.
Okay.
I don't know what you would call that.
Let's go with skirt.
Chainmail, plated like mail waist.
Okay. Sure.
Dave's not convinced.
Does anybody else know what she's talking about? Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Paint it up and we'll take a look at it when it's on the spinner.
All right. Yeah. Sounds good.
It'll be all good. That'll be fine.
You painted this model. You know what I'm talking about.
That was a little while ago, though.
All right. That sounds good.
To be fair.
That is fair. We will forgive you. Looks good. Yeah. Dave is also trying out the speed paints from Army Painter, which were just released, correct?
Yep. I think just released this weekend.
They are now available.
Yep. So what I'm doing first is I want the robe on this this snake to be kind of like a bone color. So this is how I did it on the archers. So it's kind of a sort of very connected to the base and the coloration, so that has that reddish sort of tinge into it.
Okay.
So, but here I'm just starting with the pallid bone. I'll sort of put that down over this zenithal prime, which means that in the shadows here it'll be quite dark. But this guy's a kind of a unique model from the set, so I figured that it would be fine to experiment on him. On the paint job, that is. So this should give me a nice sort of basis to then come back with like an off-white or a bone sort of color to
build up
the highlighting.
To do the highlighting.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know if I should have added. I just did bone white on this bone.
Okay.
And I'm kind of wondering maybe I should have added some brown to it first. And
right.
So that then the bone white can be the middle. But I'm just gonna be confident that this bone white will be fine. And then I can use white to highlight it.
Yep.
This white. I did bring Dead White out, too. I didn't really know what the difference was.
Between the matte white and the
just
dead white?
Yeah.
I don't know that there is a huge difference.
Okay. We can find. If anybody in chat knows, you can tell. Betsy says, I'm removing mold lines on my last wave of Lord of the Rings minis.
Excellent.
I've really enjoyed seeing your painting progress through the Lord of the Rings minis, Betsy. It's been really cool.
Yep.
If anyone hasn't, they should go join the Facebook group and take a look at Betsy's Lord of the Rings minis. Partly because I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, so
sure.
I just like seeing...
See Betsy's take on them?
Yeah.
Yep.
The stories come to life.
Yeah.
That's part of the Asmodee game?
Ooh, I don't know.
You'll have to tell me how the game is, because the only Lord of the Rings game that I've played is the one that came out in, 2006, I think.
Okay.
I think it was called, Battle of Middle-earth. Right. And it's not as story-based. It's much more just kind of like a campaign style.
Yeah.
It's more like a war game.
Okay.
So
it's not a walking game where you have to walk from one spot to another.
Yeah, or at least that's my memory of playing it.
Okay.
So
cool.
I don't know. Maybe I could be really wrong.
So there we go. There's the pallid bone down first. I'll pull out some of these the blues. So Cloudburst blue is let me just mess around with this on the palette, so hopefully folks can see a little bit. So just thin that, and has quite a lot of grey in it. Magic blue. We'll have a look at that one next. Oh my goodness. This looks bright.
Oh yeah, it does. Very bright.
It's far brighter than I'm used to. So I think this is a lot like, that one's a lot like Thalasar blue, I think, from the contrast paint range.
Oh wow, yeah, look at that. It looks nice.
And then this is High Lord blue. So you can hear there as well.
There's a little stone in there, or excuse me, metal.
Yep, little ball bearings. They've got two.
Or stone.
Two in each one.
They have two. Wow.
Yep.
Could be a stone.
Fancy.
Oh yeah, look at that, and that one's darker.
Yep. So it's a darker version.
And that
there.
almost has purple.
It does have a bit of
undertones.
indigo in there.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. And then the first one, is that a blue or is that black?
That first one, no, it's blue. It's like a blue gray, dark blue gray.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's the one that I used on the pants for all of these guys.
Gotcha.
So it would be a absolutely fantastic denim. So if you're painting a whole bunch of zombies for the
I was
Walking
gonna
Dead
say
or
the
something
zombie. I almost said zombies.
Well, anything from modern setting, which is generally going to be a zombie game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally be fantastic to doing denim on that, and definitely be good. So I think to match this, or get this closer to those guys, I'm going to do a little bit of a mix. Okay, Plasmatic Bolt has a little bit of green in it, so let's have a look at. Well, it's mostly green, I guess. It's got a little bit of blue in it. But here we go.
Also, Simon says, and then it jumped away from me. Nope. Doing up the Archer from Reaper Bones 5 Odyssey, aka Atlanta. Cool. Dave Hummel is building FW Imperial...
Forge World Imperial Tarantula Sentry Guns.
Sentry Guns tonight.
Fantastic.
I have to paint over 100 cannons for a ship, apparently, I'm sure.
I've got a fun ship story.
Oh.
Stay tuned, James. I have a fun ship story for later.
Fun
Gunship story. Something I read the other day. I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Ooh, that green looks nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. So I'm going to take a bit of that green. I'm going to mix it with some of this blue. So there's some magic blue and the plasmatic bolt, which is looking, it's kind of interesting, but I'll give it a go. So I'm going to try this on the skin of this snake. See how it looks. Yep. The Zenithal is fairly heavy on this one, so the pop is definitely going to be from the top. There we go. But it does it'll flow onto the miniature really nice and easily, which is cool.
Do you feel like Zenithal is kind of key in using the speed paints?
It's kind of what?
Is important in using the speed paints?
No. I think it's just something that can just adds to the depth.
Okay. Cool.
You could totally do it with just a white prime or a grey seer or wraithbone or any of that kind of thing. You don't need to do the Zenithal, but the Zenithal just adds that extra sort of step of shading.
Gotcha. That then you don't have to do later on?
Yeah.
Speed?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, so if something is in shadow and you prime it white and put a layer of the speed paint or a layer of contrast paint or something like that over it, it's going to look the same as the stuff on the top parts of the model where it's white as well.
Right.
But so the tonal value for your shoulders, for example, are going to be the same as for whatever snake parts are underneath the robe here.
Right.
If it's all primed exactly the same.
Okay.
Then you're just relying on the shadow created by the miniature.
The actual, yeah.
Which, when you're talking about miniatures, you want to pop the highlights a lot, and you want to push those shadows back a bit as well. So it can be can take you a little bit to go back and do all of that on a mini too.
Gotcha.
So
to save you some steps.
Save you a little bit of time.
Save yourself some headache.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out if my mini's actually in focus.
Oh, Cat's here.
Oh, hello.
Not having fun at work. Sorry, I left. No, I can watch you focus and smile again. Cool. Welcome, Cat.
Journeys in Middle Earth.
Journeys in Middle Earth, yeah.
Oh, gosh. New old.
Yep.
Getting ready to paint Ral Partha Legacy Thunderbolt. Mountains Miniatures Mounted Arthurian Knights.
Excellent.
Whoa.
It's a mouthful there.
Oh, it's a Fantasy Flight Games, yeah, so it's Saturday.
Yep.
Looking to finish up the White Lion Rangers and Underworld's Fire Slayers. That's cool.
Excellent. Nice work,
Gary
Sean.
played the Lord of the Rings by TSR in the 80s.
Yep.
And yes, hello, Kat. Thanks
Good days.
again.
And hey, Gary.
joining.
Did we say hi to Gary before? I don't think we did.
Yep.
You did?
We did.
I didn't. I'm sorry. Hi, Gary.
TSR did an unlicensed Battle of Five Armies back then. Not sure if they ever did an actual RPG. ICE had MERPs, which I know for certain.
Right. Middle Earth role-playing system.
Okay. When people use the acronyms, sometimes I'm a little lost.
Oh, I'm always lost with the acronyms. So many times.
Oh, James says he cannot wait. So
Cool.
You'll be heading into Costco? John, is that literally you're going into Costco right now?
Do you have us on your phone? Will you be spreading the word of Painting Happy Lil Minis to Costco?
My favorite thing about Costco is when you go on the weekends or during lunchtime and they have the free samples.
All the samples.
I don't know if they do that anymore because of COVID.
Stupid pandemic. I don't think they have been doing it for a little while.
Sad day when they stopped doing that. Well, actually, they had kind of been transitioning that out for a while. When I was a kid, when I was younger, I should say, they were there a lot.
Just because she's still a kid.
Yeah.
We're all kids at heart.
JT is working on his Knight Strix commission tonight. Nice.
Oh, Knight Steerix. Cool.
Steerix,
Yep.
sorry.
That's
Yep,
okay.
they went and changed their times and I got screwed with having work. Yeah, sorry about that, Cat.
Yeah.
We were thinking, like, how can we screw Cat up? Or no, I'm just joking. We love having you.
Yep.
So we do miss you.
Okay. So that's if we can do a quick zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have a look at it's gone.
And
Okay, so-
also I can
Yep.
go to your screen.
Cool. So that's the pallid bone over white, and you can see there on the snake body. That's the mix of the plasmatic bolt and the magic blue. Magic. So that's the first layer there. What I think I'll do is because typically the ones I've done so far have been darker and less green on the backs and lighter and more green on the undersides. I'll come back with probably a thinned layer of the High Lord blue to basically sort of darken up that other side, but I'll thin that down. So then we get to see if that does push those colours around a little bit.
You want to see if there's going to be mixing?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, to see if it see exactly what it does.
Okay.
But I'm just now just.
Is it because it's made with, like, it's like a tempera paint as opposed to acrylic? Is that why?
Oh, imagine tempera is an acronym, and I just asked you to just. I'm not sure. It's possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Acrylic
about that.
is made with plastic and tempera is made with egg whites.
Oh, okay.
And so
So they don't
so it
mix.
technically does it, like, dries, but, like, you can keep mixing it if you add water.
Oh, right. Back into the tempera.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure.
My
I'm not
guess
sure.
is it's just an acrylic, but it just has
I think so.
an interesting drying
Yeah.
thing. Like maybe the oil, maybe there's oil or something that makes it, that helps move the...
Moves around. Something in the medium. Yeah.
Yeah, something about the medium.
This is actually working just fine.
Also, hello, Jeff Hall. Thanks for joining.
Oh, hey Jeff.
I never know if I show up on Facebook. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes the Facebook chat is a little womp.
Okay, so there we go. That's
Dave
pretty
Hummel
neat.
says, what? You're not savvy in the TLAs? AKA 3-letter acronyms.
No, sorry. Sorry, Dave, we're
no.
not so good.
We're not.
Yep. Okay,
What do you think?
They're looking pretty good. The next thing I'm going to do is going to take some of the, I've got some game color off-white here, which is, I'm slowly transitioning to replace ivory until, well, actually, I've got to head back down to Games and Stuff soon and see if they have some ivory back in.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Jeff was saying they might have some in last week.
Ooh. Jeff, private message. PM Dave.
Hey, Dave, let me know.
if Ivory's back in stock.
There is a paint that they did get back in stock
Just
this
joking.
week. There's a paint they got back in stock this week that I'm not going to tell anybody about
Okay.
until I go down and buy my paint. And then I'll let you all know.
And then you'll tell us what the secret paint is.
Exactly.
That's really funny.
Anyway, so mixing some of the white in with the pallid bone. So this is taking an acrylic, sort of a standard acrylic, and mixing it in with speed paint. And so it's thinning it down to a really quite a nice consistency, but it's also tinting that a little bit darker so that when I paint it here, the transitions from the darker areas on those highlights are a little smoother.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
But yeah, so this is one of those things where you can do this. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. If you just want, you already have a highlight and a mid-tone and a shade. But if you want to take the highlights up a little bit higher, it looks like you can definitely go back and paint over the top of them.
Jez says those speed paints look great.
They are pretty good.
James's guess is that it's charred brown. Josh says coal black, charred brown, dark Prussian blue. It's like you know him.
So a funny story. I have a bag next to my painting desk with paints in it that I bought, where it's like, because it's always like, I don't know if everybody else has this when they go to the hobby store. You're like, okay, as you're walking in, you go, I know I'm out of this paint, and this paint. And then you walk to the racks, and you look at all the paints, and you immediately forget those 3 paints that you just listed.
Yes.
And so sometimes I sort of even forget that I need 3 and think maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5. Just stand there and I pick out paints that I probably need. So it's like, what do I use the most? Charred brown, dark Prussian blue, beige brown, ivory. So, yes. But yes, Josh, it actually, amusingly enough, was one of those paints. Those paints. But yes.
I have to write it on my hand. That's what Jess says.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually take a picture. So,
Right.
like, because we all have our phones now, yeah, I'll take a picture of things that I'm like, oh, I have this, but I need a restock. Or, like, I have books of series that I like to buy.
Yep.
And then I never remember which ones I have. And so I get to the store and I'm like,
Yeah. Well, see, I never to take the photo of the things that I need because I'll remember it, right? And I do. I remember it right up until the moment I'm standing there looking at the paints.
And then you're like, your brain's like, look at all these cool paints.
Yeah, my brain's like, fork it over, Taylor.
You definitely need all the paints.
Yep.
Jez is busy painting Muthbona? The troll from Handiwork Games Beowulf Age of
cool.
Heroes set.
Nice.
It's a lovely metal beastie.
Excellent.
Muthbona?
Muthbona.
Muthbona.
Muthbona? Question mark? Sorry. Fantastic. One day we'll have to explain that joke.
Yeah.
But not now. Not today.
Not today.
Cool. So, yeah, then a little bit of highlighting and...
Call it a day with that part
Almost,
of
with that part of the mini.
your mini.
Yep.
The entire mini done in 15 minutes.
Yep, now I can go home, right? There we go.
Josh says, I went to Hobbytown to only buy 1 bottle of dark Prussian blue. Great color, by the way. Thanks, Dave. And 20 minutes later, I was $130 lighter and a bag of paints heavier. I did get dark Prussian blue, though.
Yes, good.
As long as you got the paints that you
wanted
to get. But, whew.
Yep.
That's
okay. I've spent that before.
Dave's like, I understand.
That's okay.
I will move my water cups. So
the only problem with buying a lot of paints, it's only a problem buying a lot of paints if you're not going to use them.
Oh, true. Yeah. If they just sit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like me and stickers. I love stickers, but I don't use them.
Right.
So you just let them sit. Because, yeah, then it's just sad. And then, honestly, there is a shelf life. I mean, it's a pretty long shelf life to paint, but
yep.
There is a point where you can't really use them anymore.
Exactly. Okay, so what I normally do with like this particular series of minis that I'm working on, the Serpent Folk, is the gold would get a basically rough iron would be the base coat, and then the glorious gold over the top. So like this guy. But what I'm going to do instead is, because we're messing around with the speed paints, I'm going to do the gold like this.
Oh, nice.
And like, see this one,
Okie
in the gold.
dokie.
But they did the, we were talking about bosses the other week.
Yeah.
This is like the mega boss. Look how, so in the center of the shield there is just that big round sort of lump of metal. So normally in there's a handle that you'd be holding behind that boss. Not the way that it's being held here, but so it's a little bit more decorative, I suppose. But
It's for hitting?
It could be for hitting. Jez will let us know. But yeah. But no, it's definitely cool. So yeah, that there was the Runic Grey over Zenithal Prime. I think I might have added a little bit of white in to the top, the final highlight there, and then thinned down some of the hardened leather, which has got a great sort of orangish tinge to it for like a rusty sort of patina underneath. It's a little bit subtle. You can't really pick it up on camera there, but that's what I'll do for the scythe blade on this one.
Oh, okie dokie.
Yep. But first up,
To tie it in.
hang on, Runic Grey. I will do Runic Grey on the leather. And Sand Golem. There it is. So that's what I'll use for the gold.
Oh, nice.
So I'll go mess with that now.
So with my guy, I have been painting on the silver, and then I decided to add actually a blue. Sorry that it's a little blurry.
Yep.
But like a blue
The blue
wash
wash
over it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because his skin is, honestly, he's a little too blue right now. But his skin is blue, and then we have this blue wash as opposed to a black or brown wash.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to keep the blue.
You want it to be shiny.
Yeah.
Have that shiny sort of feel. Like
And have
he
that-
takes care of it.
Yeah, he kind of takes care. Yeah, so you can see it's actually pretty close to the color of his skin. I'm thinking I might have to do one or two things, like add some more shadow to it. Okay.
That's the right answer.
Dave says yes.
The funny point is,
I'm gonna add more shadow to it.
the funny thing is, we didn't talk about that before the show. That's great.
No, we did not. I'm gonna add more shadow. That's gonna be what I'm gonna do next.
Excellent.
Just now. And I think I should just use a black. Should I just use a black wash color to do that, or
you can mix in a little bit like black with the blue.
black with the blue? Okay,
Yep.
then that's what I'll do. Cool.
So yeah, sometimes when you're doing sort of shading like that, you can just mix in. If you've done your sort of an overall wash over the whole piece, you do that. When you go for the shadow, I would just put it in around. Can you hold it up for a sec?
Yeah.
So the so yeah, so the axe head sort of bulges around the haft there.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just you need to keep the shadow rather than mixing in some black and doing a wash over the whole thing.
Okay.
Just apply it where there's actual shadow.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yep. Because otherwise you're making everything uniformly dark.
Yeah.
So you don't want to.
And I have
Don't do that.
issues with that.
Right. As in you've done that before, or
Yes.
right.
I have issues of over darkening
Right.
things. And then feeling like I have to go back in and then like highlight up again.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of times like shading the model isn't just putting a wash over it.
Mm-hmm.
That might be in a lot of cases, like a very sort of easy, simple way to do it. But sometimes if you want more shadow, especially just go in those smaller and smaller layers. So it's almost like reverse highlighting, if you think of it that way. Paint into those valleys. Tim says, can't wait to until we get our speed paints. It'll help me immensely. Yep. Looks great, Dave.
Sorry, yeah, I was looking at the chat. I'm sorry,
Oh, no,
when
it's
you were
all
talking
good.
with me.
Jason says it's a whoopee cushion. I missed that.
Yeah, sometimes like it probably is the sound of our seats
Oh, okay.
that you're hearing. Norman Shields had bosses like that. Oddly useless, but
Right,
that's
okay.
traditional.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good. It's good to know that there's a historical basis for and actually the shield shape for these is very very Norman cavalry, isn't it? I think so.
The sand golem looks like a useful paint.
Yeah, it is definitely. It's got nice bit of yellow and orange to it.
Ooh, we have a question.
Oh, what's the question?
From a painter's perspective, do the speed paints and contrast paints make you a quote-unquote better painter? Or no, as they make the steps of adding shadow and highlights less needed, so you lose the opportunity to practice those skills, especially as a new painter?
I think that's a very good question. Very good question. I gotta think. Let me think a little bit on how to best to answer that, because there's going to be some philosophy here. So I'm going to answer it interestingly. Not.
Okay.
No, I think you got to. It's a good. It's a good question because there is that sort of thing. If you can do it, like the shading and highlighting quickly with a simple one-coat application, will your highlighting and shading skills atrophy if you had them, or will you not seek them out if you didn't have them? I think the biggest thing I'm going to say here is all about that everybody paints for a different reason. We all paint miniatures for different reasons. For some people, it's just about relaxing and pushing paint around. For some people, it's about improving a skill base, or a set of skill set. For others, it's about creating cool-looking armies for the tabletop. And each of them has a different set of priorities. So for some people, they might never have explored sort of the subtle nuances of going a little bit deeper into highlighting and shading and all the various ways that you can do that. They were possibly never going to do that, so they were or just going to go, okay, base coat done.
Yeah.
Base coat done, get the next model on the table. So for them, these paints are going to be fantastic because they don't have to, they're getting extra layers, essentially, with it. For those people who are just starting out and haven't learned about those things yet, these could, and they might want to in the future, these things could be a great boon because they can apply something like this, get those, see where the shadows fall, see where the highlights come out, and when they look at their miniatures and feel confident taking those next steps.
Right, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's saying that sometimes people might lack the confidence to take those next steps.
Right.
This can help them. I think they're very much like anything. They're a tool in your toolbox. If you going into it, knowing what you're going to do with them, how are you going to use that tool, is the important thing. I'm looking forward to a little bit of sort of experimenting with them to find out other ways to incorporate them into my painting. Much like I did when the contrast paints were released.
Right.
And so now I think a lot of the miniatures that I paint will use a contrast paint on them somewhere, but they're certainly not the primary colors that I might be doing. Then again, there might be some models where I'll go, no, first step is contrast this area.
Yeah.
It's like, great, now I can work on everything else.
Right. Because I think with everything, like, as you learn to be a better, as you said, like, I think if you're someone who wants to kind of, like, be a better painter, you're going to have to learn how to do highlighting and shadow work without the contrast or without the speed paints, because that in turn will make you a better, like, it's going to you're going to naturally want to learn those things, because that will help take your painting. Kind of how you go about that can be different for everybody.
Yeah.
But, like, those techniques will always be valuable, and knowing them will always be good. But whether or not, like, you necessarily have to know them to get your painting the way you want is kind of dependent on you as the hobbyist.
Yeah.
So it is really convenient. I think what's cool about the speed paints is it makes the entry for a completed mini a lot quicker.
Right.
Like, the gateway, like, as someone who's a new painter, you can finish a miniature with just, like, one base coat. And, maybe it won't look like Dave's first base coat. But, like, it can be a finished mini. And there is something very encouraging about that, as opposed to kind of getting stuck in the, like, oh, I painted this one part of my mini. It's not coming out the way I want. Instead, it's like, oh, this is cool. I have a mini for...
Yeah.
And now I, like, feel, as you said, more confident. And now I want to be better. Not just with this tool, but, like, painting in general. So, yeah.
Good question, Jason. Good question.
Dave Hummel says, another tool style to speed up the process, in my opinion. Agree. Jez says, I use contrast as a glaze for shadows rather than splodging it on. Just another kind of paint, another tool.
Yep.
Josh recommends Squidmar's video, what he and his team have been doing with them, and the gradients that they've been achieving are pretty cool. That's what he's saying.
Yep.
Betsy says, I really want them for the kids because they go on easier than normal acrylic and cheaper than contrast. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to say, like with a finished mini. Kat says, not to be judgy, but if learning a craft, I think it is important to learn the basics before you learn the shortcuts. And that is fair. I do. And that's kind of what I meant by, like, I think eventually if you want to be a better painter, you're going to have to learn those techniques.
Yeah.
Like, you can't forever ride the speed paint.
Speed paint train?
Train.
Speed paint train has no brakes!
Speed paint mega set train.
Are you saying that the speed paint train is not Snowpiercer? Constantly circling the globe? No? Okay.
Did they, like, come out with the TV series?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Third season now. It's fantastic.
It's the third. Okay, because, like, I remember when the and I just saw a trailer for it the other day, and I was like, what? They came out with a series?
A series? Yep.
Because I just remember the Chris Evans movie.
Yep.
And I always thought, wow, this feels like it would be better if it was a TV show. So once it's finished, I'll definitely give it a watch.
Guess who's in it? Sean Bean.
No way! Does he die first episode?
No, he doesn't die in the first episode.
He doesn't die in the first. I mean, okay, well then.
But no, David Diggs, isn't it? Jennifer Connelly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
when
cool.
I saw the actual trailer, I was like, why have I not watched this? What?
There we go.
Okay, we have people just chatting in the chat. All right. It is almost 8 o'clock. Would you like to look at some miniatures?
Oh, sure. Hang on a second.
Okay, cool. Do you want to just
just
tell us what you did?
So what I did there was just put some runic grey. It's tough to kind of see it behind there. Yeah, put some runic grey on the blades.
Nice.
So I'll let that dry. I'm actually going to throw some dark wood on the haft of the weapon. Oh, one thing that you'll probably have noticed is I haven't done a lot of brush licking.
Oh, yes.
Speed paints taste terrible. Terrible.
Apparently, they taste terrible. From the master.
The master paint taster?
From the master paint taster.
Yeah.
Don't taste.
Did you almost say paint taser?
Yeah.
Paint taser face.
Jason says, I only watched the first season, but I saw Sean, and I didn't want to watch another show where he dies.
I can tell you
That's funny.
Yeah.
He did survive the Iberian campaign and Waterloo.
It's true.
Fair.
Yeah.
Looks cool, Dave. That is what Jez says.
Go.
Jason says, I'm anticipating his fate. Never saw him, so there's no actual spoiler. Oh no, Dave Hummel has super glued himself to himself. Stand by. I've done that.
This is the point where we're going. This is where we go into the story of super glue being created for.
Oh yeah.
Yep, field dressings.
Yeah.
Where the most important thing was to glue yourself to yourself. The left half of the wound to the right half of the wound. So.
Put some leaves on it.
Okay, just quickly throwing some.
Kat says, okay, then that's a good selling point for speed paints.
What was that?
Their bad taste.
Bad taste. Yeah.
They needed to, Kat, we need to tell Army Painter they needed to put that on their box. Does not taste good.
Yeah.
Do not lick. All right, so we
glad,
are going
so
to...
glad that I found that out personally rather than somebody else telling me.
Right.
Anyway.
We're going to look at some miniatures from the Facebook group.
Yep, let's do that. Instead of looking at my hands.
Instead of looking at Dave's hands. So yeah, people posted. I'm going to delete this. It's not part of that for some reason.
Yep.
It keeps showing up. But yeah, so we look at minis from our Facebook group. You kind of all know the drill, but I like to tell it if there's in case for somebody new. We have a Facebook group called Painting Happy Lil Minis. Every week I ask for people to showcase what they've been working on this week. And so that's what we're going to talk about now. So
Yep.
we have Ashlyn still going strong.
Going strong with the Sisters of Battle.
Yes, and I actually do have them here.
Oh, fantastic.
So we can look at them close
there.
up. We have a smaller screen, so we can look at them.
Everything changes when Leona comes in the room.
Yeah, I should take a picture one time.
I think I did take a picture. I took a picture.
Actually, you did. Yeah, you did.
But
yeah, no, these are looking awesome.
Yep, looking very nice. So this is a novitiate banner bearer. Is this a? I think this might be a conversion that Ashlyn's done. But yeah, looking very cool. One of the things I really like is the way that Ashlyn's translated the blue for the armor and the red for the weapon casings into the banner color.
Yeah.
Because there's always the temptation when you're doing a banner to have different colors on it.
Right. Okay.
Which can then end up, your model can have like
10 colors.
10 different colors, and there's no the eye keeps moving around. It's like, where do I stop? Where do I stop? So going with colors that you've already got in the palette there just keeps it really combined and harmonious. So nice work there, Ashlyn. Great choice.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed Ashlyn's color choices.
Color choices for sure.
Sisters of Battle. I feel like they are really beautiful. Next we have Betsy Bowers.
The Balrog. Fly, you fools.
Fly, you fools. You shall not pass. I literally, when I downloaded this photo, I was like, I'm going to say it on stream.
Yeah, I'm going to say it.
I'm going to say it. And I just said it. So
yep.
We have the good old Balrog with his fiery flames. He's looking awesome. I love the OSL light on his
on the fingers of the wings.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's looking awesome.
there's a question for the chat. Check out for us. What are those pieces called? Obviously, I can't keep calling them fingers with membranes between them. What are they called on a bat? What are those bones called?
Did we already find that out? Or
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't know it. I'm asking the question.
Okay.
This isn't me testing people. This is me requesting knowledge.
What are the fingers?
What are the fingers called? But
Phalanges, potentially. Also, Simon
possibly.
said for Ashland's scheme that he felt like it was refreshing. And I agree.
Definitely.
That's kind of what I like about your painting. The banner arm came on the upgrade spruce, but was not intended for that particular model. Cool.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I
Very
said
cool.
Phalanges as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they're Phalanges.
Possibly.
Looking awesome.
But yeah, looking great. And as Lona said, that the OSL on the phalanges.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Nice work, Betsy. Looks great.
Looking really cool. Or hot, I should say.
Hot.
Ha, 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 ha.
Not
Next up,
spicy,
we
but hot.
have Brian, who was... He was saying in his post that he likes to paint 3 or 4 miniatures at a time when they're larger. And because he was saying that he only usually has like 1 hour
Okay.
a day. He tries to paint like for about an hour a day, or at least.
Cool. Yep.
And so I just thought that was kind of cool because we've talked about that before, about like kind of working on multiple things and then putting in the time helps you get it all done. Like at the end of the day, you do kind of just have to paint for an hour,
What's that T-shirt I've got to say?
Yeah.
Make your painting a habit, not a chore.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I thought that was kind of cool that he had all these.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's super cool. I think you can see like it's one of those things when you're working on 3 different minis that have got different textures and different colors, or similar textures and similar colors. Sometimes you can do something on one model. So I'm looking at the armor on the leg of the model on the right hand side that's sort of striding forward.
Right. Yep.
So gone there and painted those highlights. Looks like a non-metallic metal there. So you paint that, and then you go, oh, I'm really happy with how that turned out. Where's another mini that has that sort of thing on it? And you can go and you can go in there and paint that. So I think maybe that like larger scale dwarf to the back on the left has probably got some of that going on. But very cool. And 3 different. You got fantasy and sci-fi in there.
Yes.
You got 2 different scales, which is looking very cool. But yeah, I think that's a great idea to keep things moving around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless,
of course, you're painting like a whole bunch of minis at once, like is that for an army or a unit or something like that. So it's going to be a different, slightly different feel, more of a production line feel. This is less
as
production
you said
line.
Then that's more about the movements that you're making to get the desired. This one is more about like almost exploring different techniques and then kind of seeing if you can translate them well across all of them.
Yep. I think it's quite cool. Nice one, Brian.
Thanks for sharing. Next we have Carl with a dragon bust.
Very cool.
And I have to say I really like the work on the bones. The whatever these
the horns.
Horn
the spines
parts are called. Yeah, the spine.
The phalanges.
The phalanges.
Maybe not.
And they actually are different from the teeth. They're like a little, I think the teeth are more of a white, and then the spine part is a little
I think that's cool because
yellow.
you got that yellow down through to that sort of dark brown.
Yeah, dark.
So it's that
brown.
more of an aged kind of thing.
Yep.
Well, they're outside the mouth, so they're going to be weathered and that kind of thing.
Exactly. But yeah, I think the texture on them is quite nice and different from the scales.
Yeah. But I also like that the shading on the scales varies.
Yeah.
Across there, so it's not, again, just a simple wash.
And I think for a
decisions
bust,
that have been made there.
That's a nice way to differentiate.
Oh, yeah.
Like you wouldn't do that maybe, if you did that on a miniature, but on the bust it looks really nice.
Sure. Yeah, because the scale is blown up and everything's more in your face.
Yeah.
But you can still do that sort of thing on a smaller scale.
Okay.
Full size model.
Okay.
You don't have to go along and pick out every individual scale, but you can do some. we were talking with the shading on the axe before. Mm-hmm. You can do that kind of thing where you put a second wash over it. You pick a couple of areas.
Gotcha.
And you just work it into there, so you get some subtle differences there. Maybe you put those down first as like an underlayer, and then you put your your sort of
main color
main wash
top.
over all of it. So it ties those together.
Gotcha.
As long as you do it subtly, you'll get that variation.
And then that helps.
Gives it like a natural, sort of realistic kind of look.
Cool.
But yeah, excellent work, Carl. Looks great.
Thanks for sharing. Next we have the Hulkbuster.
Hulkbuster. Yep. Looking very cool. This model has got to be huge. Got to be huge. Just big, this big as my head. No, maybe not. But I love the suit. I love the glows. The blue glows he's got going on. But I do have to say my favorite part is the base.
The fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame that, Chris, that your logo is over the top of it.
How dare you?
But I love that it's got the cooling smoke forming on the outside.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Just really subtly done, but just works perfectly.
And interestingly, I know we've seen on a different model, Chris used that technique for the fire smoke thing.
Yep.
Looks awesome.
Looking great there, Chris.
Next we have... text is too small.
Text is too small.
Corner Schmeichel is painting this, and it is from...
Micro Art Studio?
Yes, Micro Art Studios. Discworld Minis.
Discworld range. Very cool. Yeah, these look great. I think the sculpts are a lot of fun. They're that great. There's like a caricature kind of feel to them.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible geek. I haven't read the Discworld novels, so I couldn't tell you who these characters are. I'm sure somebody can.
He had them in there, and then I had to.
All right.
Yeah.
But you had to cut it out.
Yeah.
Oh. But,
here we go. It's Constable Carrot and Angua from Ankh Morpork City Watch.
Right. Ankh Morpork.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
But no, I do like these. I think the work on the leather is very cool, like the leather pants and the this kilt there.
Mm-hmm.
Looking very neat. But yeah, very like basically the clothing and the equipment has unified those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think Cornish Monkey's done a great job here again. Look awesome. I love that hair as well. Nice work.
Yeah, sorry. I was just looking at I really liked the way that he did the armor, silver. Just adding a couple highlights really bring it out.
Yep.
It looks
just nice and subtle there as
nice. Long awaited.
Yep. Ready for it? James!
Not a boat.
Not a boat. But a lion. This is really cool. It's a very fun model there, James. I wonder where this is from. Is this 3D printed? It might be. But
almost looks like could be WizKids, but I don't think they made a lion.
I don't know. But yeah, it looks super ferocious.
He's a terror.
Great. And I like the shading that you've got going on underneath there, the belly there.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, looking good.
He's going to go onto the boat.
All right. Yeah.
That's I've decided in this story.
Oh, okay. Right.
The lion's angry because he got released. Like he was about to go, circus or something, and then he's like, it's all happening right by the boat.
Oh, okay. Right, yeah.
I'm building a world here.
I was going to say that he was on the boat in a cage, but the cage fell apart.
Yeah, maybe that's what's happening.
It was a rusty cage.
Yep.
He swiped at it and went.
Yeah.
No.
The salt corroded.
Salt air corrodes, quite quickly. So that's exactly what happened. No. Looks great, James.
Good. Thanks for sharing.
Nice job. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Next we have Jan with a Bristol heart from Cast and Play, printed by Chimeran Productions.
Excellent. A Bristol heart, sorry. So I'm guessing Bristol heart is a kind of a thorn bush / ant kind of cross. But no, looking very cool. I'm again, we talked about mushrooms a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Got those great sort of the disc mushrooms on the side of the tree there. It's got that little sort of realistic orange tinge to them. But no, looking good. I like that the on the wood there that the sort of extremes, so the extremities with the roots, but also where that wood comes up on the, I'm guessing it's on the arms or whatever, comes up to those broken edges, that it goes from that orange-ish brown up to the yellowish brown.
Yeah.
It's great sort of gradation there.
It's really nice on the gradation. So I think sometimes with wood, it's easy to think it's all one color.
Yeah.
And when you're painting, you actually, to make it look more like wood, you need many colors.
Yeah.
I like that it's very warm. So honestly, most trees in real life are actually more gray.
Yep.
But what I like about it being warm wood is then it kind of gives it that lifelike feeling.
Yep.
So I think that was a smart choice. Whether intentional or not, I think it helps kind of bring an animated.
That's good. Yeah, I haven't really thought about that before, but yeah, you're completely right. It does that.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Looks awesome.
Very cool.
Oh, yep.
Josh
It's the same
Parker.
one.
Oh.
Josh Parker with Zombicide Survivors.
Excellent. Yeah, looking very cool.
He looks like a survivor.
Yeah, kind of a crazy headsman. I'd be a little bit worried about the follow through on that swing. You'd want to make sure that you were taking out 4 or 5 zombies at a time, rather than just one, and then you've got to recover from it. And it's like, oh.
Maybe that's why his one arm is bandaged, because he's constantly swing, and then he has to swing back his arm and punch another.
Yep.
Anyway.
If you want to see a post-apocalyptic movie with a guy who swings an axe a lot,
okay,
there's a movie called Last Man Down.
Okay.
I'm not going to recommend it for it being a good movie. It's decidedly average.
But I could see a guy swings up.
If you want to see a guy swinging an axe, probably for half the movie. He chops wood for half the movie.
Then he chops zombies for the other half.
No, it's not. It's not a zombie apocalypse.
Oh,
okay. It's a pandemic.
Oh, okay.
But
gotcha.
yeah, I think it's set in Sweden.
Gotcha. Oh,
gosh, like a Swedish one. But yeah, so this guy does a lot of chopping, a lot of wood. And then when you see around his cabin, there's
more wood,
stacked wood everywhere. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, but Josh, I think your Zombicide Survivor that you're working on here is coming along great. And I do like the little M&M tubes.
Yes.
For painting handles.
Have to shout that out.
Yep, definitely good.
Thanks for sharing. Next we have JT.
Yep, with the Steerix Knight. So this is
This is what he's working on right now.
Yep, looking very cool, coming along nicely. So again, JT was working on some House Tyrannus Knight armages that
right.
we saw last week.
I do remember.
So this one is a Forge World model. And again, going with that same color scheme. So I painted my guys. Good choice. either by you or by your client. But yeah, looking nice, JT. Coming along.
Next, we have Lyle with some dragons.
Dragons. Lots of dragons.
So, and they're actually being painted. Ridden.
Yep.
I
think these are the Stormcast Eternals.
Okay, that's
models.
what I thought. Okay.
So yeah, these are all little dragons. But yeah, they look very cool. I love the purple, and then into that a little bit more of a tan kind of look for the membranes between the phalanges.
Yes.
But yeah, looking nice, and that I like that you've got the blue in there as well. The blue and purple they sit next to each other on the color wheel, so it just there's a nice sort of harmony there. And then the opposite side of that is that tan yellow kind of color.
Yeah.
So it's a great triad that you've got going.
But it's nice that he's kept the tan relatively cool, so it doesn't bring it
so
out.
Not at all.
I think my initial thing would be like making them yellow. And then it's like, it's all saturated.
No, desaturated is good because that purple's quite saturated.
Yeah. But yeah, they also look very, like, I know it is a little farther away from the photo. Like, we don't see super close to them, but I really like how they all look together.
Oh, yeah.
On the tabletop.
Definitely look
I think
great.
They have a really good presence, so.
Yep, without a doubt. They look awesome. Nice work, Lyle.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, Sean has been painting up these White Lion Rangers. It's kind of weird to see them on round bases. Oh no, look at that. The square bases stuck on round bases. Nice. Thinking ahead. So, yes, Age of Sigmar uses round bases, although you can play the game.
Oh.
According to GW, right from the launch, they were like, no, you can leave all your stuff on square bases if you want. But they're also working on Warhammer the old world.
Gotcha.
Where they've already said that there'll be square bases in that. So doing this, Sean wants to play them on square bases. He can just go pop off that little round base underneath, and there we go. He's got an army for Warhammer Old World. Thinking. Multi-use. No, they're looking good, Sean. And that pale blue is looking good. With that lovely jade green kind of top knot there. But no, nice one. Excellent.
Very nice.
Well, bite my shiny metal. Beep. It's Bender.
I forgot to put it on.
Oh. But yeah, fantastic. That looks great. I love the eyes. The eyes are like peak Bender.
Yeah, it's true.
But no, that looks very cool. I wonder where that's from. I'm curious
Simon
now.
is in the chat, so
oh yeah,
you can
Simon.
tell us
Whereabouts is Bender
where you
from?
got this.
Yep. Very cool. But no, nice one, Simon.
Yeah, I like how he turned out.
Yep, it looks great.
Next we have Steven
Yep.
with some Guild Ball Falconers, Captain,
Excellent.
Mascot, Goal, and Ball.
Yep, that's very cool.
Oh, I see. Captain, Mascot, Goal, and Ball.
Yep.
All in one.
Cool. Now, I got to wonder, like, is that an official ball from Guild Ball? Because it looks like a little bit like a bell
Yeah.
from a cat's collar, which could be it's like a fun choice. But no, I mean, Guild Ball certainly a fun game with small teams, fantasy football, fantasy soccer kind of vibe.
Right.
But sadly, no longer made by Steamforged Games. And here, but no, it's very good to see that people still painting and collecting. That they did some really cool looking teams.
I remember. I think even just a couple years ago, they were still putting out teams for them, and yeah, they looked really cool.
Yeah.
The smaller games are always ones with like stuff like this where they have them so stylized per faction or team or whatever. That's when I'm like, oh, maybe I could get that.
Yeah. You throw a lot of character into them.
Yeah.
That Steven's done here, but yeah, looks great, mate.
They look really great.
Nice work. Next up,
Ty.
Oh, Ty's painting some
Zulus
54
and
millimeter. Cool. So yeah, so these are all like a soft plastic. They're sort of almost classic toy soldiers,
Right.
which would have been tin, but yep. So Ty's going for that sort of classic look. There's a lot of when these would have been painted originally, like in the 50s, 40s, and 50s, or possibly even earlier in the UK. Glossy enamel paints.
Okay.
Was the approach. So they all looked shiny.
Right.
And kids would get them for Christmas, or after Christmas they go along and they'd point out the one that they wanted, and that would get added to their collection each year, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So this would be like 2 birthdays and 2 Christmases or something like that, depending on the household. But
right.
But yeah, so I think it's great that Ty's going with that look for them. And the shields are the Zulu shields are always fun to paint. The sort of cowhide kind of thing on there. And then that stitching to hold the cowhide kite to the to that central pole. It's one of those things, they look very flimsy, but they would actually, that leather hide, because they left the
like the hair
and
stuff.
Yeah. It's like, do you say hair for cows or fur for cows? You don't really talk about the
hair.
Do you? Yeah, probably hair.
And whatever top layer of skin was attached with the hair, they were very strong.
Yeah. So, definitely very strong, great at deflecting musket balls and so on. But yeah, I think Tyson did a great job replicating that sort of old Britain's
I see
toy
what you're
soldier
saying.
kind of look.
It really does. It looks nice.
Yep.
And then last mini for this evening is Wyatt. They're coming for you, Barbara. Night of the Living Dead Zombicide.
Very cool. Yep. It looks very neat. And he's gone for a monochrome color scheme.
Yep.
Nice one. Great choice.
We can't fault you. We love a good monochrome.
We do. We're big fans of that. So if anybody wants to do a monochrome scheme, good way to do it. Start with your black at one end, white at the other end. Mix all your grays in the middle.
Okay.
In different levels. So work out how many sort of gradients, how many gradations you want along the way. And then whatever you're painting in it, if you've got a reference photo, make the reference photo
black
and white.
Right.
And then just match the shades, match the tones to it. So, you can then just power through everything because you don't have to worry about color. You're just worrying about shade. So you can put down base coat and 2 highlights, or you put down a mid-tone and shade and the highlight. But if you're working with that, like a range of paints, let's say you've mixed 10 or you've mixed 20 or whatever it happens to be, you can always go in and pick 3 or 4. You got the grouping around and maybe throw in a little extra lighter highlight in some areas and that sort of thing. But yeah, painting.
Talk about like learning how to work with shadow and highlighting like that.
Oh yeah,
doing monochrome kind of would be a good exercise. Like
definitely,
I guess like if you were like, I want to be better at that.
At light, yeah, working out how light falls.
Yeah, like how light falls on the model
and,
what looks best to your eye. It would be like, oh, just paint it in monochrome, as you said, because then you're limiting everything, and it's just like looking at monochrome, which is cool.
Exactly. But yeah, no, it looks great, Wyatt. You did a great job there.
I do like it. I had this thought, though. Could you paint a model monochrome and then put a wash over top of it?
Sure.
And then, like, that would
tinted.
Be your tinted.
Yep.
Almost like a sepia tint
or
something.
You could, with this, like with sepia, you can do exactly the same thing, but instead of going from black to white, you'd go from like a dark brown, like a charred brown, through your sepias.
Okay.
Up to a white or to
like an
off-white.
Bone, yeah.
You can do it exactly the same way. I've seen like cowboy sets, like cowboy games.
Okay.
People have done it like that.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
But yeah, definitely cool.
Thank you, everyone, to who posted in the group. It was really lovely to see your minis. I'm sorry, we're just looking at the chat because we couldn't see it while we were looking at the minis. So people were talking about the rawhide, like dog chews it as tough as hops of hell. Fun fact: the production team donated the cattle to the Zulu that were made in the movie.
Never in the movie.
Because the SA government would allow them to be paid. Oh gosh.
Oh wow. Okay.
See ya, JT. Thanks for joining.
Zulu movie from the 1960s, late 60s.
Oh dang.
Sorry, I just going to mention Simon Calcutt said that was an armor cast bender, but it needed a little bit of green stuff work to put the eyes in and the sack behind him.
Nice.
Another fun fact about about Zulu. When Michael Caine went for his audition, he said, they said, can you ride a horse? And he was like, oh yeah, totally, I can ride a horse. He could not ride a horse. And so, like, the first day, he had to ride. The first day on set, he had to ride a horse.
He probably thought, I can learn while I'm filming.
Can't be too tough. Loads of people do it, right? So, yeah.
Oh gosh.
That's
As someone who has ridden a horse and is not good at it, I cannot imagine just like lying about that.
Yeah. It was quite early in Michael Caine's career, but
Gotcha. Okay.
good.
He was like, I need the job. Also, thanks for joining, JT. He had to head out, so we appreciate you tuning in.
And Simon Calcutt says there, Bender goes by Folder bought 3,000 on Armorcast Minis. So if anybody's looking for it, now you know.
Did not know that good Zulu trivia.
Yep.
Also, Wyatt said, I'm still waiting for the wet palette I ordered. Oh.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll be coming soon.
Fingers crossed soon. Yes.
In case you think I did not notice, Kat says, good use of the holders.
And the important thing is, Kat, I had this in the holder before I knew you were in the chat. Look at what you've done. You're a great influence.
Yes.
Nice.
So yes, we're going to get... Oh, actually, you know what I'll do? You can keep painting, Dave.
Okay.
And I'm going to open up some of the frameworks. So
right.
I just wanted to showcase some of the frameworks that we will be painting throughout the rest of the month of March.
March.
I don't know why I'm talking
Stupid smarch.
So yeah, I thought it would be fun just to show you guys. I'm personally really excited about these. So we were able to get a lot of the monsters. On stream we've painted the heroes.
Yep.
And those are available. Will soon be available in your Painting Happy Lil Mini store. So we have the white. We also have a hill giant. Here. Let me get the focus better on the box, and I will be right there.
Okay.
Be right back.
She's just gone. Where did she go? It's hard to get good help around here. Oh, welcome back. You're going for like 20 minutes.
I know, I was gone forever, forever and a day. Let me use this to cut. Where'd who go? Where'd what?
Wait, what?
Oh, Jeff said, I'm going to need to be in on one of those frameworks paintings. Oh, you can join us, yes, if you'd like.
Sure thing.
Yeah, we have a whole box back here. So this is the white. The white includes enough optional components to build a custom white miniature. So, exciting. What are you planning on adding to your miniature before
as
the end of the night? Yeah.
As we're painting. So what I'm doing now is for the gold areas, all the gold areas where I use that sand golem speed paint to get that non-metallic metal gold look. The big thing about non-metallic metals is the contrast, getting that level of contrast between dark and light.
Right.
So I'm mixing in a little bit of the sand golem to the off-white that I've got here. So you can see there, just getting something so I can do some highlighting. I think I've got a little rogue hair. Nope, looking good. So yeah, just to do some highlighting on some of the top edges. So along the top of the decoration here, just to pop it out a little bit. We mentioned before that they're quite
Ooh, looks
the paints
good.
are quite dense with a lot of pigment in them. So this, just by throwing in those little lines on those highlight areas, you want to keep them nice and sharp as well, because that would be where they're sort of glinting. I was going to say where the sun would be glinting off them, but if they're down in a dungeon, they'd be off the torchlight.
Yeah.
And because it's got that great headdress there that I've done, it's all gold. Picking out some of those areas there.
Oh yeah, that's looking nice.
So.
Yes, I see our jokesters in the chat. White, not white, correct?
Yep.
Josh says, but what if I want to paint it some other color? Does it have to be a white miniature? Ah! Are you? And then Dave says, you're dead to me, sir, or undead to me?
You're undead to me.
Some good fun.
Excellent.
Some good fun. Oh yeah, no, that's looking awesome.
So you should always go back to the palette on a regular basis and mix it up again. Mess around with it.
I'm saying going back.
Yeah. Just because you always want to be checking it, and not because while here painting, this is drying. It's not drying super fast because it's on a wet palette, but it's still changing consistency and changing it's how it's going to react when I paint it on the mini. Yeah.
So are whites, but a little death never stopped them. They are full of unlife. Yes.
Fantastic.
So it looks like this white you can add. It has 2 different options for the arms and actually 2 different options for the head as well. So that's kind of cool. And then there are a couple base additions. There's a little statue, like bust, that you can build at the bottom to put next to the miniature. So
cool.
Yeah, you could just have them stretching out their hands, or they could be holding a dagger, which is kind of cool. Yep. Looking good. A good monster size as well. I'm going to open up the Hill Giant now.
Cool. Actually, while you're opening up that box, I just remembered I was going to tell a story about a boat.
Oh yeah, a boat.
So saw a story about a boat. I think it's called the Vesa, Vesa.
Okay.
It was commissioned by the King of Sweden. Okay. In the early 1600s. So I think it was like 1628, something like that. If my memory serves correctly. Doesn't really matter. Just got to say a long time ago.
A long time ago?
Long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
This was the biggest warship of its time. It had so many gun decks in it, and...
did it not float or something?
No, it floated.
Okay, it did.
It started to float. But no, it turns out that... so the idea was basically that it would go out to sea and it would sail around, and basically it would... if it opened fire with a broadside, it would devastate ships. Completely devastate. Yeah. Take them apart. So the idea was that it was an intimidation factor.
Right.
So for the Swedish Navy. But while it was being built, it had been all planned out, everything was all good. This King of Sweden came along and said, I like it, but I want another gun deck. These 4 gun decks are great. I want a fifth gun deck. So they couldn't go up. They couldn't make it any taller.
So they went down.
So they had to go further down to the hull.
Which is not good.
No, so... and of course, when you fire all the guns on a broadside, it tilts the ship.
Yeah.
A bit. So when the day it was launched, it went out into the harbor, and they were like, let's fire a celebratory broadside kind of thing. And they fired the broadside.
Did it
and
sink?
It tipped. And of course, on the other side, like all the gun ports were open on that lower gun deck, and the water started flooding in. And 15 minutes after it launched, the largest warship that had ever been built to that point sank.
That's wild.
Yep.
Blub.
Blub, blub.
Yeah.
Indeed.
The customer isn't always right.
This is true.
In fact, I'm dying. That's amazing.
Yep.
That's like, there is a ship like that, but it was built, I think, for Henry IV.
Okay.
So it was earlier than that, and it was basically the same story, where they took it out, and then it did its like heralding ship. That one actually didn't sink, but it did its like heralding voyage, and then it went back into harbor and never left again because it was such an enormous amount of manpower to have this stupid ship around, and it like wasn't actually that useful. Like it was so hard to navigate.
It was just too large for the technology.
Yeah, and that was before they did. So like that was also before some shipbuilding technology was out. So it was just a very long and complicated thing. So not in more is always better. Yeah, more is not always better. So yes, this is the hill giant. Thank you, Jeff. He has one big body. Then you can also have a barrel for him. He also has like this fur cowl that he can wear. Some little extra. He does have just one face, I believe. Yeah, so he has just one face, but he has many different hands that you can have. So
one face, many hands.
Oh, many hands. So he can hold
Sounds
a
like
staff.
a DC villain.
He can hold a staff. He can hold... he also has, like, there's some antlers and, like, some headwear. He also can just have stretched out hands. And then in one of his hands, he can also hold, like, the haunch of a deer. Which is cool, and then he has some other like pack stuff and a stone. So just like different ends and odds bits that you can put on him. It looks like, I can't really tell what these like tiny things are, but potentially they are ears for his head.
Oh my goodness. Separate ears?
Yeah, I think these little things down here might be ears.
Is that WizKids taking a lesson from Weird?
Like
the ear on the zombie chihuahua?
Yeah. I think so.
I betcha they are.
What's this one? And then we have, I was actually really excited for this lady. The Mary Rose, built for Henry the VIII, sank due to turning and firing cannon and being top heavy. Yep. Would love to magnetize and see what you can do to swap the parts. Yeah, so the other frameworks, I don't know if I think you saw them, Jeff, but the other frameworks, I would be interested to see if you could do that with this guy. His one arm, so I think for his one hand, you could actually magnetize his hand, but the other one, his arm, I think you wouldn't be able to do that. Or maybe you would. So yeah, in his one arm is sticking out and holding a staff. You definitely could do that with that because it could either be a staff or like you could hold something.
Yeah.
But his other arm is actually holding the dead deer on him. So I don't think you could switch that out.
I might be able to.
But yeah, you might be able to. You might be more creative than what I'm thinking.
You can do some amazing things.
The
with
one
magnets.
that I was excited about was the Night Hag.
Okay.
Something about the evil cauldron, which look, I was very, very excited.
Cool.
JP items finished and posted on page.
Woot!
Done and ready for priming. Nice. Yes, everyone take a look. Oh, one of the parts fell off. So yes, this witch, she actually has... Which? She has clear pieces to go on her cauldron.
Okay.
Which is really cool.
So you can
you can build the smoke.
With some washes and stuff like that.
Yes, and you can actually decide which smoke you want.
Cool.
It looks like it can be a little smoke or a big bomb. And then for her, you can change out her hands and what she's holding. There's also like this he's not a gingerbread man, but he almost looks like a gingerbread man.
You can say voodoo doll?
Yeah, I don't think he's a voodoo doll, but he like...
Oh, cool.
I don't really know... Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if it's like a tar baby.
Yes, that's what it is.
Right.
It
From
totally
like
is.
Grimm's Fairy Tales.
That's exactly what I just couldn't.
Right.
I was like, it's not a gingerbread man, but it's something like that. So yeah, she looks cool. This dear little night hag, and it does. Luckily, all the boxes come with these like little how-tos, so you can. If you're like me, you need the how-to. We also have the Orc Multipack, which I am excited. So that comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different orc models. Yes, the clear is my favorite part as well, Dave Hummel. Yes, for all the hags. Ooh, for all the hags, yep. And actually, you know what's interesting? Is on the box art, which of course I threw the box somewhere. Oh, here we go. The box art on the hag is very saturated.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, I don't know if I would actually paint her like that. I feel like
You'd
having
go for
a
more of
muted toned
Yep.
hag is actually more creepy.
Right. Yep.
But this is also could be, I mean, it's your fantasy world. You can do whatever you want.
You can. You can.
But I was just thinking, like, in terms of a color scheme that I would go for, I don't know if I would do that exactly.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting. Totally painted as a gingerbread, yeah. Or as James says, you could add LEDs to the clear,
Oh, the cauldron?
the cauldron. That would
Yep.
be cool.
That would be cool. Neat idea.
That's the witch we gave away at Christmas. Ah, yes. So when Jeff was on while you were in
Australia.
Aussie.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, Sumkey with the 13-month resub. Hello and thank you.
Awesome. Cool, some key.
Thanks for stopping by. Jeff had some promos, and one of them was the witch, or it was the witch, I should say, was the promo that he had received, and we sent that off. I believe JT received that. So.
Oh, cool.
All right, so this is just a lot of sprues. Obviously, it's for the 7 different orcs that you can build for these guys. So there's even a spike on the head that you can build. You can add to the base a spiked head.
Spiked head.
Yep.
Head on a spike.
Yeah, what did I say? Spike on a
Spike
head.
on a head.
Well, depends on where
I was
you put
thinking
the head.
you pick up the pickle halberd
maybe
helmets.
maybe the head's at the go on the ground, and then there's a spike in it.
Spike just laying on top of it.
Yeah, I meant a head on a spike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's nice about the sprues is that they do a relatively good job with grouping them pretty well.
All right, all the parts.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, it's not exactly like all of the arms are in one place. They kind of group them so that you can build one model from one sprue. So
Right.
yeah, these guys come with lots of accoutrements, different. Some of them are holding daggers. They're big and burly guys. It's always funny to me when they put, I mean, of course they will, put musculature on miniatures, but I still find it funny. I said I still find it funny because
Right.
it's like buff. There's never like
Like a weedy orc.
a weak orc.
There are. They're called goblins.
They're always buff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's even like the Urukai. Like, they're gonna smash. You don't see like, meh, skimpy.
The weedy ones.
Yeah, good layout on the sprues in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. Well, Jason says that's an intimidating number of sprues. I am showing you the sprues for the box set that specifically comes with 7 miniatures.
Right.
So it's for this one.
Is it 1 sprue per mini, or?
It's basically 1 sprue per mini.
Okay.
And that's what I meant by, like, they're actually pretty well grouped. So if you wanted just to use, you wouldn't have to cut all of them all at once. You could kind of just take one at a time.
Cool. And you'd probably be able to do a bit of mixing and matching, I think.
Yes, you could. Sorry, Jason says, where are all the dad bod orcs? It's true. That's where I'm looking. The muscly orcs eat the skinny ones.
That's also true. Yep. Simon says, now I want a bunch of emaciated weak orcs.
Meat's back on the menu at Gristro's.
Gristro's Bistro.
Yes.
Excellent.
And apparently, Josh says campaign-specific spells scroll to be found by the PC Magic user drops off. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Which one are you opening there?
I'm looking at the Ghast and Ghoul.
Okay, cool. I am going to open because I felt left out.
Oh, the Minotaur. Mr. Garistro. Very nice. I know I'm doing all the unboxing. Man. It's because I'm not good at painting, guys, and so I was. Actually, partly because I have a couple washes on him, so now they're completely dry. My miniature is actually more dry.
Oh, that's interesting. I noticed that. So the stacking. Approach.
Yeah.
I think this was pioneered by Wargames Factory back in the day. And I think Weird might use this now for some of the stuff, maybe. But yeah, so
some of them.
Just a way to keep the sprues from sort of knocking together in the or rattling around in the packaging, which is pretty neat. This is the Minotaur. He looks cool. But yeah, okay, radio. So on this this sprue, there are a couple of branches.
Oh, nice.
And some sort of antler pieces. But they go on the skull that is on the little pillar, which is a bit like a basing element.
Yeah. So quite a few of the... I guess you're right. That's the best way to call it is a basing element. I think most of the miniatures have a basing element to them.
Yeah.
Which is really... That's what I was trying to say with the head on the spike. I think that's kind of cool that you can add that. You don't have to find something else and put it on. That's what this guy, he has a headstone, different gravestones that you can and actually the Ghast and the Ghoul have two, so it's two separate miniatures, and yeah, they're all on the same sprue.
Yeah.
So why don't more mini companies do that with their sprues? Yeah.
Do that like this?
Do the stacking, yeah.
I suspect it might be there'd be a for some companies like Games Workshop have done their sprues in the way that they do their sprues for forever, so they're not particularly interested in changing that. What they've also been moving, Games Workshop has been moving to, is a single sprue in a box. So you don't have the rubbing together.
Right.
They do that because it's much faster for packaging.
Right.
So it's easier, rather than going, well, I'll get one of these and put it into a box. It's just one sprue. And Renedra, the folks who run Renedra used to work for Games Workshop. So they don't do it, so they're the ones who do all of the Perry miniatures sprues. But
Oh, interestingly, this Ghast and a Ghoul. So the Ghast has a head, and then the Ghoul has more of like a
screaming face. A sheet.
A sheet on top of them.
Oh, interesting.
So, it's same body, but like different tops of your head. So that's where the difference is with those monsters.
Okay. That's
yeah.
Cool. And this one, the Minotaur has two options for weapons: either sort of a big single-bladed great axe that's held in one hand behind him, like on the box front.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And the other arm is over there with the hand out, so he's getting ready for a swing. And the other option is a double-bladed sort of great axe there, held in two hands, like that.
Yeah, I like the different options. So I was really excited when they were going to send us some of the monsters, because a lot of times monster minis, because they're larger, they only have one way that the company will put them out. So I don't know. I think it was kind of cool that WizKids decided to expand their frameworks line to the monsters as well.
Yeah, definitely cool.
And not just the heroes. The heroes make sense to me.
And one thing I'll point out as well is that on the back there's a QR code, so you can scan that. It says, "What can you do with sprue? What can you do with sprue?
Yeah.
What can you do with sprue?" I really wish I had said, "What can you do with the sprue?"
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I agree.
Anyway,
I read that and I was like, "What do you do with sprue?" And I'm like, I'm not going to say that.
What do you do with the sprue? But yeah, scan that and it'll take you to a page that shows you the options, as well as having a really straightforward assembly guide there, which is neat. So that's very cool.
Josh says he was aghast when he heard the news.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
Yes. Cool. So yeah, these will be fun when we get to.
So yeah, I was thinking,
these.
depending, we could spend some time building them if we wanted.
Yeah.
Or I was thinking maybe of taking a picture of the options.
Right.
And posting it in the group.
Okay.
So then, like, one of the miniatures I make, like, one someone can make the way they want, and then the other one it would be the way that the group.
Well, what we could do, what we could do is find out what the group wants. We could build that one off camera.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
And have it ready for painting.
Right.
And then build the other one, and then
that's great.
jump into painting
Yeah.
build it on the stream, and then paint the other one.
Mm-hmm.
This one we had earlier.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Cool.
Could be
That sounds
cool.
good. Yeah, but yeah, check them out. Very nice. Do I have another one over here that you didn't have? No, I have the Night Hag and the.
Sorry,
the
yeah,
well.
I ended
That's
up
good.
opening a lot of them.
But yeah.
Oh my goodness! And look at that. It's almost 9 o'clock. And I'm here. I'm out here trying to paint shoes on my guy.
Paint shoes. You don't paint shoes after 9 o'clock. Nobody knows that. I'm going to reach over. I'm going to pop my mini on the spinner.
Here, let's zoom in on me.
There we go. Oh, what time? Oh, yeah, it is 9 o'clock, so that's okay. I don't feel too bad.
Yeah, that clock is fast, by the way.
Oh, okay. Right now.
It's actually
So you're saying
9:57. I mean, it's 8:57.
So you're saying I should feel bad for the next 3 minutes?
No, we can look at your mini.
There we go. So I popped it on there with some of the things. So yeah, I probably should put it up with, actually, what I'll do is I'll switch out one of those guys for one of these guys.
Scale.
So you can see the with that highlighting on the robes of that with the scythe. It's brought everything in line together. The blue is nice and vibrant and bright there. The gold. Sorry. Let's get this guy out of the way then. Yep. Let's get that one up. There we go.
Also, real quick, Jason was asking, what should they recommend for glue? CA or plastic cement? On the little sheet, it says model glue.
Model glue. Yep. So that would be plastic cement.
Okay.
Yep. Because these are high impact polystyrene or HIPs. So when it's polystyrene glue / plastic glue.
Okay.
Melts the two.
Right.
And welds them together.
Secures them together.
So, yep, you can definitely do that. Of course, if you wanted to glue them and then you wanted to change some part of it, like if you wanted to switch out a weapon or something like that, if you glue them with super glue, and then if you want to make that break, pop them in the freezer.
Oh, okay. Then it's a lot easier.
Make the super glue crystals brittle. And then you can... But yeah, if you're fixing it permanently, plastic glue will be the way to go.
Cool.
And that's the other fun part about the little stands. Having those there, you can just sit there and go. Waste some time.
Also, fun toy for all ages.
For children of all ages.
But yeah, so interestingly, my guy can be part of your dungeon crew.
Totally. You've got all the
He
colors
has the
working
blue,
together.
yeah, he has the color scheme accidentally. I mean, it's just because it's a great color scheme. So,
Yeah.
yep, keep painting. Great show. See you next week. Thanks for joining, Josh. Yeah, so you can actually see some of the blue shade that I put on the axe as it spins around.
Yep.
That is the shadow, but I also did just put a darker color there, so it kind of gives the illusion of like he's swinging it and it's in movement. So, and then he has white. I didn't get to go back into the bone, but that's okay.
Yep. No. All
Your
good.
guy's looking awesome. He's
So
ready
yeah,
to fight.
how speedy was that?
That was
like
really speedy.
An hour and a bit, but it's a detailed model.
My goodness, I'm sorry.
Unprofessional. That was the alarm to say.
That was the alarm to tell me it's 9 o'clock.
Stop the show! Stop the show!
But yeah, that was even Ashlyn said like that's a productive. I don't know if Ashlyn was saying you had a productive night, but we also had a productive night because the speed paints really do make it quite speedy.
Definitely,
that was really impressive.
So yeah, very neat. I think I'll definitely be messing around with those for the. So there are 6 more serpent folk.
Okay.
It's like smaller serpent folk that I'm going to do, and there are 3 more brutes. I'm going to finish off the brutes the way that I've been doing them.
Okay.
That I did them last week.
Right.
But actually, I'll throw him there as well. Let's see how he's.
Oh yeah, look at the size of him. Whoa.
Yeah.
He doesn't even want to be in focus.
Doesn't want to be in
because
focus.
that's how big he is.
Too big for focus. But anyway, so yeah, we got those to do, and that'll be it for the serpent folk. Which
Nice.
Pretty neat. But yes.
Very cool. So yeah, we will be back here
Next week.
next week,
Next
painting
Thursday.
up some of the frameworks because it's a new month.
Cool.
So we'll be doing the frameworks throughout the month of March, and doing. Make sure you check out the Painting Happy Lil Minis group if you'd like to see your miniature on the show. That's where you can submit, and then also I hope to maybe take some pictures of these and have you guys help us build some of the miniatures.
Cool.
Some of the monsters. So
That's the hag.
this is the hag. This
She's
is part
very
of the
tall.
hag. Yes,
She's taller
she's
than I
quite
thought she was.
big.
Yeah.
She's quite scary.
Yep.
Sadly, she only has one face, but she has many different things that you can add. She can hold an apple. She can just
classic.
hold her hands out. Yeah.
Yep.
I like that they added the apple. I thought that was pretty cool. So.
Yeah. That is neat. Awesome.
Alrighty then. That is it for our show. Thanks, Dave, for coming in and painting. Thank you to everybody who's been watching and hanging out with us. It's always fun to see how y'all are doing. And we will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.